search in spite of me. Every day I search for what I cannot see. Every day I search for you. Every day I search for the truth. Just can't help falling in love with you. More with everything you do. Speak and the mountains tremble with fear. And at the sound of your voice, I know you are near, be near to me. Every day I long deep inside of me. Every day I long for what's plain to see. Every day I long to be with you. Every day I long for the truth. Just can't help falling in love with you. More with everything you do. Speak and the mountains tremble with fear. And at the sound of your voice, know you are near, be near to me. And the rain falls like tears, and most days I cry, but facing my fears, the truth I won't deny. Just can't help falling in love with you. Love with you. More than every little thing you do. Speak out of mountains, travel with you. And at the sound of your voice, know you are near. Just can't help falling in love with you. Love with you. More than every little thing you do. Speak out of mountains, travel with you. And at the sound of your voice, know you are near, be near to me.
Hello and welcome to Season 3, Episode 29 of the Berean Manifesto, Faith, Hope, and Love for the Modern Christian. This is week 2 of our new format where we are, myself and Pastor Nooms, recording the podcast live on Sunday evening at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're listening to this wherever you listen to podcasts, we'd like to invite you to come and join us live. It goes out on Facebook and YouTube and Periscope and Twitch. And you can find those channels by going to our website, ekk.house. and then you can actually join the conversation live via the chat interface, and we can see what you're saying and we can respond back. We also have our Discord server. It's set up. It's still pretty simple. We're hoping to grow that. I've got the 3 basic rules put in the rule channel. We'll probably grow that. We might edit that a little bit as time goes by, but those are the 3 basic rules we want to stick with. And so here we are, week 2 of our new format. I know that Biggs is here with us. He's already sounded off in Twitch. Glad you're here, Biggs. So, how was your week, Pastor Nooms?
Week was pretty good. Nothing much special, nothing out of the ordinary, just kind of a normal week.
Normal week.
Yeah, it was pretty cut and dry. Got my second vaccine on Monday, and it put me down for the first 2.5 days of the week. But other than that,
yeah, it did.
It's been pretty normal past that.
And that next day after that shot, you were like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Alive, I think. Where did this popcorn come from?
I made popcorn? What's going on?
What's going on?
It was a rough couple days. My brain was a little
little
fuzzy.
Your brain a little. You were hecka fuzzy, man.
I was.
It was crazy.
It was pretty nutso. So.
Okay, well, my week, I don't know. I don't remember my week very much.
You had a little bit of a down week.
I'm sure I had a week. I don't remember it though.
Yeah.
Oh, Tuesday I had to go get buy a tire at Firestone. And then Thursday I had to take it back to Firestone because the battery in our front passenger side tire had died and needed to be replaced. In the tire pressure monitoring system, that is, I should say. Yeah, we've got these new fancy tires that need batteries to work. Otherwise, they stop holding the air. The air just out.
Those are not the tires I want on my car. That's all I'm saying.
Right. So we ended up driving this thing it ends up being about 350 miles a day for every day that we work, Uber or Lyft. So we've put significant miles on this car. And this is the first time we've ever had one of the tire pressure monitoring system batteries die on us. So, it's a pretty interesting thing, and they're not cheap. And since one died, I'm expecting the other 3 to probably follow suit sometime within the next 12 months. Just makes me glad I have a credit card with Firestone that doesn't charge me interest for 6 months. So any of my car stuff I can pay out over that 6 months. Yeah, so I drive Biggs is on Twitch asking me what the make of my car is. I drive a 2011 Acura MDX. I like it. It's the nicest car I've ever had. Yeah.
And you picked it especially for driving for Uber and Lyft.
I went on Uber and Lyft and I found, what the cars were that could accept the services that pay the most. The fancy services, Select and all that. And I got a list of what those cars were, and then I went and searched everywhere in the area who had those cars until I found this one. Took it from a list of 20 down to a list of 3, and then from a list of 3 to the one. And now that car has been declared totaled because of some hail damage on the body of the car, which I'm still just baffles my mind that a few dents now makes it totaled. We're in that process again. We had found a car, and I sent for the information and never heard back from the guy. Several days later, I heard back from his manager. I just wanted to follow up. I know that you're dealing with so and so, and just let me know if you need anything. And I was like, "Who's so and so? I haven't heard from anybody from you guys." And then the next day, I got an email from so and so, and then the car sold before we could get there. We were 1 day late on ending up getting there to see the car. It had sold, so.
Yeah, right now there's a real. I mean, cars are. There's problems because of all the chip shortages and stuff. New cars aren't coming out in the right timing, so used cars aren't hitting the lots in the right timing. So it's harder to find one right now.
Well, I mean, we need like a 2016, I think it is the oldest that we can get right now, and still qualify for the right services through Uber and Lyft. So that's what we're looking for. Mm-hmm. And then there's this very specific list of models that we can get that I have a spreadsheet for. Yes, I have a spreadsheet for that. So that's going on. And then you and I have been playing this current story arc in Star Trek, but no new news there. It's changed since last week.
I might get number 1 in an event for the first time ever. That'd be exciting.
Yeah, a solo leaderboard, or more aptly put, an auction.
Yeah.
For who can grow their power in game the highest in a certain amount of time. And
I'm still number 1
just
at the moment.
Incidentally.
Yeah. I
dominated his level bracket for this event.
I didn't mean to. I literally just waited because I wanted I knew there was a domination event coming. And so I was like, okay, I'll wait to upgrade, and I'm going to go do 2 big upgrades and then all the side upgrades that go with those. And I saved up everything to be ready to do it. And when the event dropped, I hit all of it within like 2 hours. And then I'm looking at different stuff. I'm like, hey, Bill, I'm number 1. He's like, well, by how much? I have 15 million points above the next person.
Above number 2.
And now more people have done things, and so I'm only 5 million above.
Straight overkill, man. Just crazy.
But
and then for me, I was scrounging to upgrade my operations building to go up a level so that I could do all the building that gives the most, power. And I finally got the ore I needed, so then I updated my operations building, and then I needed crystal to do the other buildings that give the most. And then just now, within the last hour, I finally got the crystal I needed and upgraded all of the guns that give the most, and I'm still only number 6 in my bracket for my leaderboard.
Yeah. But your leaderboard is much more competitive than mine because you're in the 30s and I'm in the low 20s.
And there's not a lot of people still in their low 20s on our server because of the age of the server and how often they introduce new servers. And honestly, I think they introduce new servers too often. I think Scopely needs to slow down on introducing new servers. They need to slow down on new ones and speed up on server mergers.
Yeah. As servers die.
Are interesting. Well, they don't necessarily die, but they become, decrepit. Yeah. But server mergers are interesting. They run server milestone events on each server separately, and whichever server scores the most points, that becomes the new host server for the other server. And so that other server, all of their alliances are disbanded. And then basically they get like server token type thing, and their base comes over to the new server, and then they're part of that new server. So that's how they do server mergers.
Have you been through one yet?
No, I haven't been through one. The most recent one, server 11 and server 19 faced off, and I can't remember who won. but that was like 2 or 3 months ago. They did that server merger.
I need to look to see how to switch between servers and go look at my other one. I don't know how to switch.
You just log into your BlueStacks with whatever email address you attached to that account,
It's the same one.
and then
Oh
that
no, I moved. I
should
moved.
be
I forgot.
possible.
I was like a level 3 and I moved. That's what it was. I didn't leave the old one. I don't think.
I don't know what you did.
I don't remember.
So Biggs wants to know where Zadie is.
I don't know.
Zadie on or don't know where Zadie is.
I don't know. She's
Okay.
in the other room. She was upstairs helping the girls. Time might have gotten away from her. I'm not real sure.
Okay.
But obviously she doesn't love me.
Hey, that's not how that works.
Sure it is.
No, it's definitely not how that works.
Oh, okay.
No, no, she definitely doesn't. I mean, she definitely loves you.
So yeah, that was the week. The funniness of, wait a second, how am I number one? And have kept it for 2 days, and it ends in the morning.
Yep. It ends in the morning at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I will get some data shards, but not enough to actually have the character. But that's okay.
I
That's neither here nor there.
might get all of them.
At this rate, you should get all of them.
I'm either going to get all of them or I'm going to get 95 out of 100. Because,
Biggs is spicy tonight, man.
yeah, I know.
You're spicy tonight, Biggs. What's going on, brother? He said Star Trek, and then when we started talking about Star Trek, he said, called it. And then I sang, that's not how that works. And he's like, great, a sing-along.
He was spicy earlier. I was over at his house, and he's been a little spicy today.
It's okay to be a little spicy. And he's like, yeah, boss, we're digging that hole. We ran into a problem. And he's like, what do you mean you ran into a problem digging a hole? And he's like, well, Pablo called it spicy dirt. Spicy dirt. And then the video switches over and they've broken a power line, a buried power line, and it's just like
It is not spicy dirt.
Pablo called it spicy dirt.
Wow.
All right.
Yes.
So it is time again for that thing that Nooms hates. He calls it Someone Please Kill Me. Its official title is, what did we call it?
I don't
Get
remember.
to know the passers.
Yeah.
All right, and today's card asks, what would be your best day ever?
Go ahead, Pastor Bill.
Best day ever.
What do you think, Pastor Bill? What would be your best day ever?
I think at this point, the best thing that could happen in a day is to die. That would really make my day.
Now.
Not like kill myself, because that's cheating. I don't want to cheat the game.
You're Paul. You want the race to be over.
I want it to be over. I'm so done. I love my kids. I love my family. I want to be here for them as long as the Lord wills. I don't want to end myself. I'm not at that point right now. I've been at that point in the past. I'm not at that point right now. But honestly, I'm at peace with it. I'm done. That would be like, I can't think of a better way to end a day than for it to be the last one. That's like my ultimate day right now.
Hey, Peter, your Paul's showing. I'd have to say mine would be just a day hanging out with family and friends and playing games. So, I mean, I get the best days ever every now and then, but they're rare anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I'm not in a place where I want to cheat the game right now. So I don't want anybody to think like, oh my gosh, we need to put him on watch. I mean, I'm pretty much already on watch. Um, my wife is aware of, you know, what mental states I go through and where I am with my I mean, because it's not a secret that I take antidepressant medication. I mean, I medicate, you know, with doctor's prescription, and my wife is aware of where my emotional state is, and you're always aware of where my emotional state is. We do actually talk every day now, so. But yeah, I'm just taking it a day at a time, and if it's the last one, then cool. So yeah. Get to know the pastors.
Yeah.
Get to know more than you ever wanted to know about the pastors. All right. So now that we're warmed up, normally it takes us longer to warm up, but
It does.
Big says at this day and age, everyone is on antidepressants. Well, you're not necessarily wrong because we're more aware of, you know.
There is still a certain
health.
percentage of people who aren't and actually don't need them. I don't understand how. I don't understand where those people are. But I have heard that there's
people alive that don't need antidepressants.
Yeah, they're just naturally non-anxious and happy, and it's confusing because Grandpa Biggs. That's what my kids call him. Biggs is one of them. Doesn't need them, and it's weird. Yep.
That straight up doesn't compute with my brain. My brain's like, how is that even possible?
Yep. Oh, I agree.
Okay.
And he's also the only one in the family who only wears reading glasses. The rest of us have glasses or LASIK.
Or have gotten LASIK. I was about to say. Huh. You need an upgrade. I need someone to hit reset or take me home, country road.
No.
To
You
the place
you can stop anytime. Right here.
West Virginia.
Okay, we're done. We don't belong. No one belongs in West Virginia. Biggs is logging off now.
I've never even been to West Virginia. I don't understand the song even. All right. So, not that I've even actually ever heard the song. I've only heard it sang in a movie or on clips on TikTok. I've never even actually heard that song. So this week, we're talking about the Lord's Prayer. Which is primarily your topic. But that's fine. I'm here. And I'll be backing you up.
Why is it my topic?
It's funny. Why is it my topic? I'm just playing, bro. All right. So, there are two places in the Gospels where the Lord's Prayer pops up. Okay. We've got the highly pretentious, over-the-top one that people like to quote all the time. And then we've got the one that's more low-key. My wife is on YouTube and commented, no singing. No singing. My wife said no singing. I'm going to have to hold her to that until she eats those words. No Irish songs. No love songs. I'm not going to sing oldies along with you in the car.
What about night songs?
Oh, crap.
If you don't do night songs,
I'll buy some earplugs for her to put in while we do night songs.
Because without Night Night Songs, I don't think any of those kids are going to sleep. Gregory,
My kids won't sleep. Yeah,
he's,
that's
a
true.
teenager and has gotten it every day. So I don't
Yeah,
think mentally he can prepare for bed. I would love the experiment of keeping him away from a phone just once to see if he could actually fall asleep without it.
I don't know if my earbuds are cutting in and out or if our connection is cutting in and out, but I can't hear all of your words, only like every third word.
I'm sorry. I think it's probably your internet.
Yeah, it's not my earbuds. I can tell you that for sure at this point.
Yep.
Because I heard that loud and clear. Okay,
Yeah,
let me see.
it's usually your internet. Your internet hiccups every now and then. It's fine. Now, so the two places where the Lord's Prayer shows up is Luke 11 and then Matthew 6. Um, I'm waiting for him to try to get his connection accurate. Okay. So the two places that are mainly is Matthew 6 and then Luke 1. No, Luke 11, sorry.
Right.
um which as he mentioned, they're two versions of the Lord's Prayer that are the one that is commonly spoken, and then a shortened version um, that is talked about in Luke. And they really come from two different places, also. Jesus has two motivations for answering the question in each of these two places. In Matthew, which is the common one, um, that's used almost all the time, is there's a person praying, and this is why Bill says it's my topic, because I love to bring this up because I hate people who pray like the person Jesus chews out in this scripture. But the people that the hypocrites that pray, they love to stand there, they love to hear themselves speak. I'm not going to read it word for word and out of Matthew 6:5. Anyone can go look at it. But when you pray, he says you go into your room, you shut the door, and you pray to your Father in secret. Your Father sees your secret. Blah blah blah. And then it actually goes into the don't use empty phrases like the Gentiles, meaning when the Gentiles were worshiping idols, they would my camera doesn't like my hands and keeps trying to focus on between my hands and my face, and so it's zooming funny, so I will
I
stop
just
that.
I just think of it as more of a dynamic
Yeah.
experience. The camera keeps focusing in and out, and
um and so um the Gentiles, when they were worshiping other gods, and people who worship other gods, they sometimes pray long prayers, and some don't, depends on the religion, of course, but these particular the examples that were given did. And then he said, okay, your Father knows what you need, just ask, pray like this. And I think there's a key. It's pray like this, not say this prayer. And
yeah,
that's something that is really, really different. And that's the what version am I looking at? I'm not reading out of that version. One second. I took my notes. Let me jump. Matthew Matthew 6. Matthew 6. And I'm going to read out of the KJV because that's the one that I know the best. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. And that's the one that everyone kind of knows. That's the one everyone refers to as the Lord's Prayer. The other big one is in Luke 11, which I like this one a lot because this one is preempted. The disciples come to Jesus and they say, "Lord, teach us to pray." Now, I am really bad with certain parts of Scripture.
Wait a second.
What?
That's not what they said. Go back and look again.
Okay, let me look at a different version because maybe this version's fracked from the website I was looking at stuff on.
No. It's what they said, but you didn't finish the whole thing that they said.
Okay, one second. Luke 11. Let's just get to an accurate area. Okay. Oh.
They said,
Yeah.
John taught his disciples to pray.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Teach us to pray.
Now, here's my question. And you're better at this than I am because I'm really bad with this part of Scripture. Which of these events took place first? I know you looked it up.
I actually don't have to look it up. I have a chronological thing. I can just go look at my reference.
Right. Stay tuned while Bill flips through a book. But what I love is they come to Jesus and they say, "Jesus, please teach us to pray." And like Bill said, whining just as John taught his disciples. And just as John also taught his disciples. Yeah. And it says, "When you pray, say, Father, your name be honored as holy, your kingdom come. Each day give us our bread, and forgive us our sins, for we also forgive everyone who is in debt to us. And do not bring us into temptation." So that's more of a shortened version. And yes, the John they're speaking of right there is John the Baptist. Biggs asked, was clarifying there. And so...
Okay. So there are 3 years of Jesus' ministry. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And in his first year of ministry, Jesus delivers the Sermon on the Mount, which Matthew 6:9 is part of. That's in his first year of ministry.
Okay.
In his third year of ministry is when the disciples come to him and ask him to teach them to pray.
Which means they were there when he already told them how to pray.
Right.
Which is
2 years earlier.
Which is possibly why this prayer is a little shorter. And that's kind of what I thought. Because
he's like, guys, we already covered
It's
this.
like, all right, fine. You didn't like the first one? This one. Here, try this. You don't even have to say amen at the end. And so that's
I hate reruns.
Kaiju came to say hello for a second. Now they're gone. So it's definitely an interesting thing to look at those two places and how they differ and where they don't differ. But that's my easy part. I have more to say, but I want you to say something first. I could keep speaking.
Something first.
Ooh, don't mess with me today. Ooh, today.
Yeah, so we've talked about prayer, and we've talked about how prayer should be this private, genuine reaching out to God, where your deep reaches out to God's deep. And when you replace that with just reciting something that you've memorized, and you literally gut the personal relationship part of that prayer, it's no longer prayer. It is now chanting an incantation, and which, is borderline witchcraft. And I say borderline because there has to be an intent for it to be actual. You have to intend rebellion. You have to intend results for it to be actually considered witchcraft. And while your intention may not be quote unquote witchcraft, you have to be intentionally creating rebellion, intentionally rebelling against God. And that's the opposite of what you're doing here. You are not trying to rebel here. You're literally trying to get it right. But that's one of the problems that and pause for 1 second. You've muted your mic and it's wigging me out because I can't tell
Sorry.
if my audio is still coming through because I'm sitting here in a can.
I muted mine to drink my sneak and forgot to unmute. I'm sorry.
Because it makes an awful noise when you drink it on the microphone. I get it, but then I was like, I don't know if anything I'm saying is coming through.
Sorry.
Okay. So you're trying to do the opposite of rebellion. You're trying to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem there is that's what they were doing when Jesus came and when John the Baptist came, and they rejected what the Holy Spirit, the change the Holy Spirit wanted to make is, well, no, we've got to get it right. We've got to get it right. We have to do everything we can in our power. We have to use our power to get it right. And that's the issue. That's the main issue with just reciting these words. Now, if you're learning to pray, you've never prayed before, memorizing this formula that Jesus has given is not bad. It's great. It will teach you to make sure you get all your ducks in a row when you come to God so that you're not wasting your time and you're not wasting his time. You already have all your ducks in a row. You're ready to come before the King of the universe and talk to your Father. But that's the problem as I see it, is you're trying so hard to get it right that you're removing what prayer actually is from your prayer.
Yeah, and like Biggs, my father, said on Twitch, it's a conversation. And that's a key of, we use this format to make sure that we are, approaching the throne, we're praying, all this kind of, but it's still a conversation. So as you grow in your Christianity, your prayers can look much different. And they will look much different. Sometimes they're just, oh no. And that's really all it is. It's, God, I can't. and those two words, just, oh, or help me, or please. He gets all the emotion that's behind that. Sometimes, because there are times I'm in meetings and I'm like, I'm gonna need some help. I'm gonna need some help right here, or I'm gonna say something to one of these people. And I know I'm the only one who ever feels that way. But, it's definitely, that conversation is important. And, yeah. And, yeah, I know that's not how... Bill just poked us, everyone. He reached up and poked the camera. Oh. How rude. I felt thumped in the face. I think Bill's phone is going through some issues at the moment. Because we just have a big PB instead of Billiam's beautiful face. I don't like when it's the Noom Show. There we go. What's going on, Pastor Bill?
All of the audio is I'm not hearing anything you're saying.
You're not hearing any...
So
Biggs, are you hearing what I'm saying? Or Rocks? Because I see that the two of you are watching, or someone.
Yeah. So basically what I've done is I've connected my earbuds to my phone, which is primarily sending out video. But now it's sending out video and giving me audio.
Okay.
And then I just kind of have to ignore the echo of my own. Okay.
Bye, Pastor Bill. Bye, Pastor Bill. Pastor Bill left because he took his earbuds out, and that hung up on all of us. You gotta love technology and how technology interfaces on a daily basis. I'm glad that you guys are hearing everything. Pastor Bill's...
Lovely technology.
Yeah, that's what I
So
just
I'll
said.
just have to ignore the echo of my own voice.
All right. Biggs on Twitch says 30-second buffer. It's time to cut it and go.
It's not time for the 30-second buffer yet.
Actually, he said 30, but you know we're not going to get
birdie.
into that. To birdie.
To birdie second boofer.
Birdie boofer. To birdie
Boofer.
second boofer.
Yeah. So I was having audio problems, and so we switched things up, and I can hear myself in my ear about 1.5 seconds after I say things. But I can ignore that so that I can actually hear you, since
yeah, that's good.
this is a you-heavy episode.
I don't know why, though. It shouldn't be.
I don't know why either.
Okay.
It just is.
Nah, this is.
Man, this is panda day.
But no, like Big said, it is a conversation, and, you know, that's very important.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you don't want to go on and on and on like the Gentiles do, Jesus says, you know, because they would come before their gods. They would come before for that region, and what the Romans knew, it was Zeus and Athena and all of these gods in their pantheon that they would come to, and the thought process was, the more words I use, the more I go on, the more I'll get their attention. And then that led to people cutting themselves and beating themselves and offering varying sacrifices, trying this and trying that. And Jesus is going, we don't need to be like that at all. We don't need to be like that.
Which is funny.
To bring our prayers, and here's your formula.
Which is
so
really
that
funny.
You know what to bring in prayer.
Because in the Old Testament, there are prophets that had to do the same thing, and the Jews didn't learn from them correctly that this isn't how we should be doing things. And so, yet again, the New Testament has to re-say something that's written in the Old Testament, because humans are really, really bad at listening. And we...
Yeah.
Oh. See, that's why you don't...
What'd you break?
My magnets.
Mm.
There's a certain way I like my magnets to sit in the box, and I get them out and I play with them, and then I end up messing them up, and so then I have to fix them, because now my OCD will go nutso until hand, which is why Zadie just said haha, because
Yeah, she did.
she knows the emotional state I go through from the moment that it's broken to the moment I get it back. I panic a little for no good reason, no valid reason, not like I'm medicated or anything.
What do you mean till you get it back?
So I like it
So
to
you're
be...
putting it back together? Is that...
Yeah, so it's these marbles that a friend gave me, Peter, who goes by Graphics Guru on Twitch, and they're just these little magnets, and they're little balls, right? And the correct number of them allows you to take sections of six and bring them into each other and create a cube-esque thing. And so that's how I like them sitting in the box, because that's how they come from the manufacturer in the box. And so then I mess them up, and then I lose my marbles while my magnets are not in the correct order. So you basically make a whoa, as I just undid everything I did. Basically make a little thing, and then I'll turn it into a cube, and I'll do it for everyone here in a minute. But yes. So
Okay.
That's what's happening over here.
Gotcha. Cubesque. I don't know why cubesque wouldn't be a word, Zadie. She's on Twitch going, I don't think cubesque is a word.
I don't think it is either, because something's either a cube or it isn't.
I don't think she has that accent either.
So
it's so weird hearing my voice echoing back at myself when I go to make an accent, and then I hear the accent, and I'm like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, that's why I never listen to our podcasts. And back when I used to do a podcast with Peter, I never listened to it. I would turn it on and then turn the volume down, so he still got the credit for me listening to it. But I wouldn't listen to it because I hate it. So then you make this like sheet thing, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you take 6, because it's 6 wide, and then you take 6, and you fold it in on itself, and then you fold it in on itself, and you fold it in on itself, and it makes a little block that's not actually a cube, because it's not
a cube.
Yeah, it's not 6 by 6 by 6 by 6. But the weird thing is that's how it comes from the manufacturer. I'm not missing ones.
This is a cube.
Yes.
This Rubik's cube that I still haven't solved.
I was gonna say, you were hyper fixated on it for several days.
I was, and then I didn't pick it up for like 2 weeks.
Okay, I can. It's back, and it's funny because it's supposed to be a fidget, and I never fidget with it, and then when I do, I make it wrong. So it's back where it goes. And
Biggs on Twitch says,
"A la peanut butter sandwiches." It was, I think it was from the Muppets. And it was one of the magicians. And
I don't
he'd be
understand.
Like, a la peanut butter sandwiches. And then, Tina needs to stay away from my stuff on my desk. She will not fidget with my stuff. She said she's going to come fidget with it. It was from Sesame Street. That's still the Muppets. It's still,
no, it's not.
Yeah, it is. It's still Jim Henson. They're still Muppets.
Abracadaniel. So, what else do you have to say about prayer?
I think we covered most of it.
And the Lord's Prayer.
The Lord's Prayer, I think, is very important to use as a template. And that's really the key, which you already touched on. You know, the template idea is what's important. Is, you know, there are certain denominations and certain aspects where they have a book of prayers, and they only ever say the same exact prayers. And as you mentioned, that loses the relationship in trying to... They're doing it for the right purpose, some of them, which is to make sure they get it right, but it breaks the relational side of it, and it becomes just a tradition that you're doing over and over again. Which is not what the relationship is. And that's the key to Christianity, should be the relationship, which is what separates us from so many other religions, because we actually have the ability to have a relationship, which almost all 99 point percentages don't have a relationship, because there's no one to be relational with
You want to try that again?
nope. No, there are. I said it incorrectly, but the point is that the key to our religion is the relationship. Because
Yes, our God wants a relationship
right,
with us.
and came to earth,
whereas other
and
gods,
rose.
and we're not going to deny that there are other
No.
powerful beings that call themselves gods. They're not so much interested in relationships.
They just want worship and power and etc. And that's okay.
Right.
That's why we don't worship them. Well, I don't worship them.
Some people do.
Some people do. Now, the big thing there
and
is,
that's not the conversation we're having tonight.
no.
But
the big thing, the reason I say it the way I said it is because Jesus came, became a human, went through human life, sacrificed for us, and rose then. And then ascended after he rose. And so that's what I mean by having a relationship more, is because of that human aspect also.
right.
That most religions did not start with humans and did not have humans as gods, and some of them that did plainly said we're not God, and then their worshippers worshipped them as gods, and that's a whole nother story. You gotta always love those. Buddha, I'm not God. People are like, I'm a Buddhist. I believe God, Buddha was God. No, you're not a Buddhist then. You're a something else.
That's not mainstream Buddhism, but
That's
yeah,
not mainstream
there are
Buddhism. Yes.
sects of Buddhism that worship Buddha as a god.
Mainstream Buddhism can actually be hand in hand with several other religions because it is a philosophy and a way to live, not a worship of Buddha.
Right.
It's
The simplest form of mainstream Buddhism is that we are all universally Buddha. So what I do to you, I'm doing to myself. And it's my responsibility to become the best being I can be and contribute the best to the universe that I can, because we all belong to each other and we are all part of each other. And that's the simplest explanation of mainstream Buddhism.
which, from a cosmic standpoint, we were all created in God's image. We are all connected because we are all children. It's
It's hard to deny the parallels between what we believe and a lot of what a lot of religions believe. Like, I've said it before, and I'll continue saying it till the day I die. We all have glimpses of the divine, and none of us, like Paul says, none of us have it all figured out. The difference between our religion and other religions is that God literally came as a person and said, believe my testimony and I will save you from this fallen situation. And he didn't say, I'm here only for the Jews. And I'm not here for the Buddhists, and I'm not here for the Hindus, and I'm not here for the... He didn't say that. He said, I'm here for everybody.
Yep.
And if you believe my testimony, then I'll make things right. Right? Because we all have that glimpse of the divine, and then the divine came. The ultimate divine, the supreme divine.
Yeah, and that's why that's such a big part of it is on prayer and the Lord's Prayer. Prayer. We pray. And then I think, an important part of prayer to always discuss is, the Bible talks about praying without ceasing. And a lot of people can't quite get their arms around that thought. They're like, well, I can't be a constant state of prayer because prayer, is solemn and
I can't be
holy.
constantly going, Our Father who art in heaven,
Right.
hallowed be thy name, thy
And it's
kingdom
like,
come, thy
well,
will be done.
that's
How would I get anything done if I'm
yeah.
constantly reciting this in my head?
Yeah, so it definitely, that's something, and as we already stated, it's, we have to remove that thought process, communication. When you communicate with a significant other, when you communicate with a best friend, you don't always send a 15-minute text message. It might just be, uh, like just that, uh. It might just be.
I feel you, brother. I feel you.
It might just be that well, I went through a lot of things that I would send that would convey the correct message to you, and I'm not going to go there because we're putting this directly into the podcast, as opposed to just Twitch. So I'm trying to be good, but as you well know, I'll send you one word with an exclamation point, and all of a sudden my phone starts ringing. Are you okay? I'm going to kill them. I'm going to kill all of them.
What did they say?
I'm going to strangle these people. And so...
But imagine if I came to my wife every day, and what I said to my wife was, my wife, of whom I am married to, within my marriage, I love you.
Yeah.
Will you make me a peanut butter and sandwich today as I made you a peanut butter sandwich yesterday? And will you treat my kids with love as I treat your kids with love? And if that's all I said to her every day I said that same thing, that's not communication and that's not a relationship.
I would really like to
Right?
see the look on her face before she strikes you if you tried that. Because I know your wife very, very well, and the look on her face as she struck you, because I guarantee it would at least, stop it. I know what your wife would, and it would be glorious. That look that I get so often more than you get from her even. Because I push her buttons more than you do. But as Big said, he knows what you need, and we just have to go to him and ask. It doesn't have to be this eloquency every time. No, there are times when you're in a mood, you might spend 20 minutes straight thanking him and adoring him and heaping, because that's how your emotional state is. Like when you're thankful, or when there could be a time where you do, especially if you're one of those people that actually do wax eloquently normally, because we all know those people and they just talk like that normally, and you kind of want to strangle them a little. If they go to God like that, cool, because that's how they talk to all of us. But for those of us that don't talk like that on a daily basis, we can't be doing that. I know Biggs often prays when he's working on the line. He works on the line making Nissan vehicles, and that other one that goes with Nissan, that Infinities. They make those cars.
Uh-oh.
And I know I'm gonna get in trouble. And I know for a fact he prays while he's on the line because we've talked about it. But it's not like he stops paying attention to where the welder he has in his hand or the wrench in his other. He doesn't not pay attention to where those are going while he looks up to heaven with his arms stretched. His coworkers would think he was nuts.
He says, Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah. As he burns off the lower half of his body because he's trying to weld at the same time. But it's one of those things where it's a constant thought process. I know, there are a lot of people that do stuff like that. I have to say little prayers throughout the day to often keep my sanity, as I've stated a couple times in this discussion, because I tend to run a little hotter than other people in my emotional state. I am not as balanced as some. Biggs just says no.
No.
No, you're not. Anyway.
All right. So we're 3 minutes out to the end of the episode, so I want to address something real quick that kind of got under my skin this week, and so we're gonna bring it up right quick. So yeah, so this week, sorry, you can hear all this rumbling that's going on. I found a cough drop in what I thought was an empty cough drop bag. And I'm like, the neurodivergent in me's like, ooh, I gotta get those cough drops out of that empty bag. Okay. So there was a celebrity that announced this week that they no longer want to be referred to as she, her. That they are now non-binary and they would like to be referred to as they, them. And it has shocked people. It has dismayed people. I have heard responses that vary all across the spectrum. And I just wanted to address this right quick. Stop participating in gossip and salacious talk. If someone I don't know on the other side of the country doesn't want to be called a female anymore and wants to be referred to as they, them, I don't care. It doesn't affect my life. It doesn't affect how I live my life. God is still good. Me and my house are still going to serve the Lord. I don't care. If I go to the grocery store and I call someone sir or ma'am because I believe in respecting everybody, and they say, excuse you, I'm not a sir, I'm a they, I'm going to say, absolutely. Thank you for letting me know. Because it's not a big deal. I want to respect people. I want to love people. And I'm going to take people on a one-by-one basis and not involve myself in the gossip and salacious talk of what's going on out there. I'm responsible for me.
And I want to be clear on something in what you said. The reason you said it's not a big deal is it's not that it's not a big deal to that person. You're saying it's not a big deal.
It's a huge deal to them.
It's not a big deal for you to change.
Yeah.
You're not going to say sir right after. That's not a big deal for you to then respect them. That's what.
Right.
Kind of like the conversation, another one we had.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to make it sound like I was saying that wrong.
I want to make sure we're clear.
I completely don't see it as a problem.
Right.
To simply then call you what you want to be called.
Well, it's similar.
My best friend goes by the word Nooms instead of his actual name. I'm used to people wanting to be called other things.
My daughter wrote a nameplate this morning for the table, and it said my real name, and she's like, Daddy, I'm sorry. She goes, I made a mistake. Look. And she opened it up, and on the inside was Nooms. And she goes, I forgot your name. And I put Nooms because that's just what everyone calls you. And I went, baby, it's what I go by. Biggs has been Biggs since I was a sophomore in high school. Right. And the kids call him,
so if somebody comes to you and they want to be called they want to be called she, they want to be called whatever. Don't make a big deal out of it.
Shouldn't be.
We're here to love people.
And another key to what you're saying is, as Big says, just say yo. It'll be fine.
Right.
But the big thing of that is not just respect the person. Stop talking about people all the time behind their backs. And making a big deal and talking to all your social circles and talking to all your... It's not your business. It's not... God doesn't want us dragging people's names through the mud because you don't know where they are.
Love.
No. Anyway, that's my thing. And I can't believe I just snapped at the camera like that. Like that was...
Right. So we don't usually do social platform soapbox things here, but that really got under my skin this week. And so I thought it needed to be brought up, as pervasive as I've seen it this week, and as backwards as I've seen a lot of responses to what people are going through. So there you go. All right. That's our episode. Once again, you are invited to join us live on Sunday evenings at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. When we recorded this episode, it goes out live to Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Periscope while we're recording it, and you can be a part of the conversation live via the chat interface on those platforms, or you can just continue enjoying this on Wednesday nights when it comes out, wherever you listen to podcasts. And yeah, so you guys have a safe week. We love you, and until next time.
That was mean. You said the safe part. I say the safe part at the end. That
30-second buffer. 30-second buffer. 30-second buffer. Has it been 30 seconds yet?
no.
Of course not. Why would it be 30 seconds yet? 30-second buffer. 30-second buffer. 30-second buffer. 30-second buffer. All right,
The greatest thing is I actually control
You
when
say
the,
be safe.
I control when the button gets pressed to actually end it, so I can actually say whatever I want beforehand and then hit the button, and he can't. So I love you guys,
True.
and be safe.
We
Have
love
fun.
you guys. And until next time.